Good afternoon. I wanted to bring you together today just to discuss some school rules. As we all know, we're an organization um, with lots of employees that work here and lots of reasons why we need to be very well organized um, and communicate efficiently and effectively. Um, so obviously some of the rules that we have are put in place in order to make that process a little bit smoother. Um, as I'm currently learning in my course, we're talking about bureaucracy and how Weber was one individual who kind of coined the term for that and some of the different requirements for what might make something a successful bureaucracy. Um, so I'm going to start by discussing with you just some current rules, and I know that I have three in mind that are really good rules that I think really help smooth our process and how we interact with one another. And then I'll discuss three others and talk about some of the reasons why we need to have them, but why sometimes they can be a little frustrating. Three rules that I think that we all find very helpful, and just to discuss the reasons behind them. One that we have is that administration, namely the principal in the building, must be notified if a teacher decides to make the choice to make a call to Health and Human Services regarding a student or a situation. Um, this is a very helpful tool for us to have. It allows the teacher to make an independent call to Health and Human Services, but it also keeps one representative in our school in the know about what kind of things are occurring. That way that person can maybe piece together additional pieces that are going on with the student. Those individuals also attend LB 1184 meetings, which allows them to be more prepared for those meetings, in those interactions with health and human service workers and the police force, and our county attorney can just be more successful overall. Another rule that we have is that departments must meet at least once a week. As we all know, this can sometimes be tough for scheduling, but it certainly helps us all because it keeps us all on the same page. Updates can be provided to those individuals in those departments that are subject related, so we're not sending the math information to all of our teachers who would then have to weed through what information is important for them to have specifically. And instead it gives us that environment for us to foster ideas with each other and gain that necessary information. Another rule that we also find helpful is that we all must participate in doing some recess duty. And this is a great opportunity for all of our teachers to be more engaged with all of our students. It also allows students to get some exposure to some teachers that they may potentially have in the future. And it just helps teachers understand some of the siblings and get to see them, interact with them, and then see student relations as a whole. So 3 rules that I'm going to talk with you next that I know sometimes we can find a little bit frustrating, but there are reasons behind them. We do have a paper structure when we need to request for supplies or needed materials. Right now we're utilizing that through a software platform versus the paper, which is new for all of us. And it can sometimes be frustrating because the software may not work effectively for all of us. But hopefully when that is perfected, what we can do is it will allow us to submit those requests, and then they can be reviewed much quicker, invoices can be sent much faster, and hopefully it will allow us to get our materials much quicker than in the past. Another rule that we have is that leave requests, so when our teachers are wanting to leave for any kind of workshops or seminars, then they must submit paper requests. Those do have to be approved by 4 different individuals, which can be sometimes a little bit frustrating, and even requests that are submitted on time can sometimes be accepted later than what we would hope. This is another system that is new to our school, but what it allows us to do is it allows immediate supervisors to approve those needs, and then for the information to get to all the individuals that need it. So again, this goes back to how our accounting department will need to have the information to process any payments or checks. If we need to have a secretary schedule a hotel stay or a registration, it just gives all the information to the individuals that need it. Last of all, obviously we have in our school a rule that teachers are only allowed 2 personal days, but there are instances where sick days can be accepted for alternative things. This rule is kind of tough for us because we want to foster an environment of everyone being very truthful with each other and open and honesty, but sometimes it can create some issues where teachers feel like they almost have to be untruthful in order to submit those requests. And unfortunately, right now, that's something that the way our board has approved it, that only 2 personal days are allowed. So this is a system that we will continue to keep our eyes on. But as established, it helps us maintain that consistency amongst all of our teachers. So obviously, as you can tell, a system of bureaucracy is still in place. We have lots of ways in which things they have specific steps that we must go through in order to see things be approved or see actions that are taken. I think that if I myself ever became a principal within my own school, that I would certainly want to evaluate appropriate rules, keeping in mind that we want to continue to be expedient in the way that things are approved and systems are changed. And I guess most of all, just keep that communication like what we're doing right now, and keeping you informed as to some of the reasons why we have to have those systems in place. But certainly trying to make decisions and set up rules that are, for the most part, fair, and again, give us that efficiency that we need. So I really appreciate you guys hearing me out today and learning a little bit more about some of our rules and the reasons behind them. Thank you.